The following is a raw test recording for At Odds with the Unbreakable Spirit and the Executioner before they got their group together and started the podcast on November 10th, 2021. This recording is from September 30th, 2021. I hope you enjoy. Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Chaos Wrestling Podcast. I am Matthew, aka the Unbreakable Spirit, and this is my co-host.
Hello, you worthless people. I am the Executioner, Daniel Travis.
And Travis and I, for this episode, we're just going to talk about how we met and a few other things. We met my 8th grade year of middle school, where
Yep.
this is like the one thing I'm unsure of. I don't know if I'd gone into wrestling the year prior or that year, but I had gone into pro wrestling, and a mutual friend of ours, who we're not going to name because that he doesn't really have anything to do with this, he had accidentally gotten Daniel Travis into pro wrestling, so he and I became friends.
Yep.
And we should probably explain our character names, if you will. So, do you want to start with this, Daniel?
You go ahead.
Okay, for me, the Unbreakable Spirit, the reason I go with that is starting around like 2015, I've been going through a rough patch. Stepdad diagnosed with tonsil cancer. My father passed away. In 2016, I had a brush with death. And this is really when it sort of came for me. I was hospitalized for 72 days. And I just kept thinking, I'm gonna get out of here, and I kept staying positive, and I'm lucky to be here today. And ever since then, I've not really let stuff get me down unless it's like something really personal and really tragic. And I'm stronger now through those experiences.
Hello. I am, like I said, like Matthew has been saying, I am the Executioner, Daniel Travis. The reason I call myself the Executioner is because, because truth be told, I don't really care if you are if I make you disagree with my opinion or you agree with my opinion. I don't really care how you feel about my opinions. I am calling myself the Executioner because I'm just going to say how it is, how I feel, and don't really care how the people respond to what I'm saying.
Yeah, so think of that for us, what you will. And and we're gonna move on to why we love pro wrestling, which is, and honestly, like the reason we're
There's
doing this podcast is because we love professional wrestling.
Yep.
It is, admittedly, with my TV schedule being 5 days pro wrestling and occasionally once on Sunday,
Or Saturday.
or Saturday. Thank you for reminding me and completely cutting me off. Hope that doesn't become a thing. Um, I'm gonna start if that's okay with you.
Go ahead.
These men and women tell stories with their matches and make you believe that for at least 2 hours evening,
Or
the
three.
world isn't in total shit because of a pandemic.
Yes. And what also makes pro wrestling quite an enjoyable thing, and a lot of people will say, oh, but pro wrestling's fake. Yeah, here's the thing that you people need to realize. There's no stunt double.
And this is the one heelish thing I'm gonna say. If you think pro wrestling is fake, go take a bump in that ring and then come back and tell me that. Because underneath the canvas are planks of wood.
Well, also what I was gonna say is take like Tom Cruise and all the Mission Impossible movies. It's basically like that.
Yeah, Tom
Most
Cruise, Insane Man, does his own stunt. Jeff Hardy once did a swanton bomb off of a equipment truck or something.
Hell, Shane McMahon, the son of the owner of WWE, has jumped off of more tall structures than I can count.
And for the record, the Hell in a Cell is 20 feet tall, people. He's jumped off that twice and is somehow still alive. But we're getting off topic. Name, Chaos. Anyways, as she said, there are no stunt doubles. And I sort of touched on this in a roundabout way. These people put their bodies on their body, like WWE says it in their
They say
do
that
not try
anymore.
this at home things. They did. They put their bodies, careers, and lives on the line for our entertainment. And I briefly touched on stuff like that. But like, if I had to name another example of this, Mick Foley getting back body drop through the top of Hell in a Cell into the ring, making a dent in the ring.
Mm-hmm.
And another thing is how quickly the characters can pretend to be someone they're not. An example that my co-host brought up is Mike Mizanin, aka The Miz. Do you want to explain that?
The Miz on TV, well, for most of his career, has been known for playing an absolute total douchebag. Meaning, on TV, he knows how to get people to hate him, which, in case you people don't know, is the whole point of a bad guy.
Yeah.
If you're not hating them, they're not doing their job. But yeah, when he's on TV, he's an
Unless
asshole.
you're like a college age person who hates John Cena, then you're doing your job. He doesn't really care.
Yeah. But when he's off screen, he's a totally nice and respectful guy. But some people,
yeah, he has a beautiful wife, some beautiful kids. He has a family, and like I remember that like one babyface run that happened when they were in Cleveland, Ohio, of all places, aka his hometown, and like it was nice to see a different side of him where he could be more authentic to his true self. But then I remember that time he cashed in on Randy Orton, and it was just like,
what the hell?
Okay, he's a bad guy. We get it.
Yeah. Another thing is sometimes people in professional wrestling, sometimes people just take themselves and just crank that shit up all the way. People, I presume, like Roman Reigns, like The Rock, like John Cena, just take themselves and just crank it up.
I think the person you're meant to be is pre-heel turn Bailey. He described that character as herself at 10 cranked up to 11.
Yep.
Anyways, let's talk about the as the little bullet point says on our outline, because we need to have some structure, the brilliance of professional wrestling. Now, we touched on this earlier. People call it fake, but more accurately, it is scripted. As in, the stuff is sometimes the stuff is planned out to happen, but some injuries are planned. Like if someone's say having a baby and they need to be off TV to either have the baby if they are a woman or to be with their spouse if they're the guy. Like
Exactly.
they can what the dreaded kayfabe term, which is wrestling speak for fake, they can kayfabe, have an injury, and be written off TV for a while. But some stuff in it is real.
Sometimes, yes. Sometimes pro wrestling somehow has the brilliant way of making real life feuds and just making them into storylines.
I can think of two examples actually.
One,
the Matt Hardy Edge rivalry when Amy Dumas, Lita, cheated on Matt with his friend Edge. And the other one, people may not believe, but it's John Cena and The Rock. They did not like each other leading into their year-long build-up to WrestleMania 28.
Yeah. Also, I think another time where it happened was anytime CM the CM Punk John Cena feud.
Yeah, CM Punk when he started just literally ripping up scripts and saying, "Screw you, I'm gonna say what I want to say."
Yeah.
Honestly, that man probably should have negotiated for an open mic clause in his contract. That way, he wouldn't have had to walk out on WWE during the attempted Chicago screw job.
Yep.
Thank you for listening to this At Odds with the Unbreakable Spirit and the Executioner Lost Recording Bonus.